Well, for the very latest, let's cross live now to our reporter, Luke Shrego, who's in Kyiv in the Donbass for us. Luke, fighting has been intensifying in Lysychansk. It's said to be the last remaining city under Ukrainian control, but it is close to falling to Moscow. Now, Russian-backed separatists say they've entered the centre of the city. Is that a credible claim? What's actually happening there?
That's right. The battle for Lysychansk is playing out as we speak. Despite Ukraine earlier denying that it wasn't in control of the city, one Ukrainian official has suggested that the battle for the city of Lysychansk could now play out and the outcome could become clear within the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, Russia's been throwing everything it has at this battle zone. It's stated its aim not just to take all of Luhansk, but all of Donetsk region as well, the two regions that make up the Donbass zone. Now, they've been attempting to push forward and surround the city, and the Ukrainian position has become increasingly untenable. They've been trying to surround it, and we spoke to one aid worker who's been, over the last few days, going in with aid and trying to bring people back out. He's said that despite the Ukrainian troops building fortifications, digging trenches, that the Russian tactics of using artillery to level entire swathes of the city, focusing on one building, destroying it, and then moving on to the next, it leaves the Ukrainian troops nowhere to shelter. It's become an artillery war of attrition, and the simple fact is that the Russians really do have more. Now, as the questions will have to be asked, what's going to happen to the Russian position after they take whatever is left of Lysychansk? The question is, will they push their momentum or will they try to regroup? There are also questions for the tactical situation. If they take Lysychansk completely, that will leave them in a position to make moves on 6 other cities, but that would spread their forces remarkably thin. Now, Ukraine, of course, hasn't been idle either. They've been determined to defend the border of Donetsk region. They've been digging into positions there, and they are receiving these increasingly powerful weapons, particularly artillery from the west. Now, that could, in fact, change the balance as the battle moves forward into its next stages, particularly as they've already shown they could use these weapons to devastating effect against the Russian military with its older and outdated weapons by comparison.
And Luke, you've been to Bakhmut. That's a strategic city on the road into Lysychansk. Tell us what you saw there.
We spent most of the day in Bakhmut, a city that's known for its wine and its rock salt. Now, if we look before the war, a population of around about 100,000 is now down to about 5,000. A lot of people have already left. When we came in, there were municipal workers working hard on filling in a bomb crater, one that had left a gigantic hole several meters deep that had taken out phone lines and water lines as well. Now, those kinds of strikes, we could see new pillars of smoke rising in the background. Explosions were a constant feature of our time in the city, and that's left police scrambling as well, local investigators trying to get through to make investigations of what they call war crimes and strikes on the civilian population. Now, they also warned us that we should leave the city by 3 p.m. because of the increased risk of increased bombardments at the time. Others, however, not so lucky, unable to leave, despite authorities pushing them to do so. We spoke to several people there, and the population that remains, it is on the whole elderly. These people are pensioners who simply don't have the resources to leave. One person told us, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? We don't have the money, where there is nowhere for us. There is nowhere for us to go. Now, some of these people still living in bombed out buildings. We saw one with several apartments that had been completely burned out. One of them showed us around, these cracks running through the walls, doors hanging out of their frames. And it was the same response. A 51-year-old man living with his elderly mother with a heart condition. They just don't have the means to leave. Others certainly can, but not necessarily in the way you might actually think. We pulled back towards the city of Kramatorsk, where we went to visit the hospital there that's been taking care of civilians. We met one man who'd been there for 3 days, a 71-year-old who had been grievously wounded by shrapnel in one of the explosions.
Luke, we leave it there. That's our reporter, Luke Shrego, reporting live from the Donbass.